Welcome to this class. This is Intermediate Greek in the hybrid format, which is a little bit different than classroom and a little bit different than internet. It's a combination of the two. What we will be doing is you will be doing assignments like you do in an internet course, and that'll be some individual study. But we also will add some elements. We will have the group work like we do in internet courses, but we will also meet a few times. We'll meet in the classroom, regular class meetings, 4 times during the semester. Those dates are listed in the syllabus. And we also will meet through WebEx. All of us get together and talk a little bit about our situation. We also will do that 4 times. You need to be there for all of these that you possibly can. There is an absence policy. You could check with Dr. Edens to find out what the absence policy is on the classroom model. On the WebEx model, the absence policy is I'm asking you to be there for at least 3 of the 4. Of course, you know, we can work with you if you have to miss, but I would say to you it's not a good thing to miss. It's certainly better to be there, so I really encourage you to be there. You need a pretty good internet connection to really get the advantage of the WebEx. If you have a high-speed connection, you should be okay. If you have a camera on your computer, you'll be able to see others in the class, and if you don't have and you have sound, you can still participate, and by audio. And of course, if you don't have either of those, you still can chat. So whatever your situation, you can participate in the WebEx meetings. I really encourage you to look at, if you can afford it. That's not required by any means, but look at, if you don't have a camera, look at purchasing one of the inexpensive USB cameras that you can get, kind of mount on the top of your computer and plug into the USB port. I think you will find it to be very useful. More and more of our classes are taking advantage of the WebEx technology. So that's going to be kind of the outline of the class. I want to talk first about the importance of the syllabus. The syllabus is important and is the place to start because the dates for assignments are on the syllabus. The syllabus is updated for each class so that you know exactly when things are due and exactly what is due. The video that we do is more general so that it can go from class to class, and the same thing with the PowerPoint. It also does not have the specific dates. Usually the dates are the same day of the week, but not the same dates, of course, as we move along on the calendar. So generally our assignments are going to be due. You will have translation due on Tuesday night, and you will have the remainder of your exegesis sermon outline, we'll talk about that in a minute, will be due on Saturday night, and then your quizzes will be due Thursday night. So I want to talk about each one of those very briefly. You'll see more specific instructions date-wise in the syllabus, and then you'll see your best instructions for doing your work in the PowerPoint. What I try to do is give you specific instructions there and tell you exactly what you need to do. So my suggestion would be read each week the syllabus first, then first do the video, and then go to the syllabus, read that first, and then go to the PowerPoint and follow the instructions specifically in the PowerPoint. Your translation is going to be a passage from the Mounts Graded Biblical Reader. That's one of your textbooks, and it comes from several different writers, so you will get to meet several different styles and vocabularies. but the translation comes from that. I give you specific parts of that. I'm not asking you to, in most cases, not asking you to translate all of that assignment that's in that book, simply because it takes a lot of time, and there's a lot of work to do in this course because you have to compensate for not sitting in class, and as a result of that, you do have a good bit of work to do. So your Tuesday assignment is translation, and you need to do parsing, of course, but I'm not asking you to write down the parsing. What I suggest that you do is use the tools that are available. There are many of them, and we'll talk about those before we stop. But and we'll look specifically at those in the next unit. But what you need to do is use those tools, but use them as learning tools. Don't use them as crutches, but learn from this. So you learn to recognize words, tense, voice, and so forth for verbs, and person, number, and gender for nouns. This is very important, so pay particular attention to that. Your Thursday night quiz is going to be an online quiz. It'll be online in the course content each week. You just go there, click on it, and follow the instructions to take that quiz. It will grade automatically, and you'll get instant feedback and your grade as well. If you have a problem with the way the grade goes, don't hesitate to send me an email, and we'll communicate about that. Your Saturday assignment is, of course, your biggest and most important, and what you'll be doing there is we'll be doing semantic diagramming, also called phrasing, and you also will be doing an exegesis, and then you will prepare an outline for a sermon plan or Bible study plan. Now let's look at those individually for a minute. The phrasing you will learn from Mounts. There is a section and starts on page XV. That's a Roman numeral 15 and goes to, I believe it's 22, but you find that section and read what he has to say about phrasing. Also, Appendix B in the back of the graded reader has to do with phrasing, so be sure to take a look at that as well. We will be practicing that. I will give you my phrasing that you can use as something to compare to. I don't want you just to go copy it, cut and paste it. I want you to do the work, but then you can go back to my phrasing and compare it. And remember that phrasing is not a science, it's an art, and so we may not phrase in exactly the same way, and that's okay. But there are some principles that I hope we'll learn by practice throughout the week. And then the exegesis, that is, of course, the most important part of this study, because what you're doing in exegesis is taking the passage apart and looking at its individual parts, understanding meaning, getting a grip on what the passage is about. So my encouragement to you is, I would almost say requirement, is first of all to go to the passage on your own. Don't read the commentaries until you've worked through the passage and come to a conclusion about what that passage means, about what the writer is saying. And then when you do that, then go to the commentaries. Now, don't misunderstand me here. I'm not saying just look at the passage and write something down. I'm saying, first of all, you wrestle with it, and then go to the commentaries. That is required. And not only that, but you must cite the commentaries as you use information from those commentaries. We'll talk more about that in class, and we'll try to give you feedback as we go along. Then the last part is the sermon outline or outline for a Bible study. What we're trying to do is get you from translation to the sermon or the Bible study. So we want to be able to understand the text, understand the meaning of the text, and be able to communicate the meaning of the text. That's what the goal of this class is all about. So I hope that you will work hard on that and try to make it useful and helpful to you, so that you go away with tools that you can use in preaching or in Bible study. Now, I think the syllabus is pretty self-explanatory. The dates for the WebEx meetings and the dates for the class meetings are very clear. I will be in New Orleans probably for the first meeting and the last meeting of the class. I will be in Atlanta for the second meeting and in Orlando for the third meeting. So anyway, let's take a look at that syllabus. Look very carefully at it, and I think you will find it to be very helpful. So let's do serious work. Let's try to really get a grip on what the text means and how we can use it in communicating the gospel message to other people. Look forward to seeing you in our first WebEx meeting and in our first class meeting, and we'll talk more at that time.